What's up, guys? Welcome to my replay viewers. Thank you guys so much for jumping in and checking out my broadcast. Sorry I missed you live, but so glad you guys took some time to check it out. What is up to my live crew this morning? Great to see you all this morning, and so glad to have you here. I appreciate y'all coming in to hang out with me on this Thursday morning. Alexis, good morning. Tracy, good morning. Brian, good morning. Adam and Ryan, it's nice to see you guys. Appreciate you coming in. Maya, good morning to you again. Nice to see you this morning as well. Y'all are amazing. I'm going to talk today about scheduling a little bit. Now, this isn't a fun topic. I get that right off the bat, but I got talking about this just a little bit yesterday, and I realized there's so much about this time of year. We're in the summer. For those guys that are watching this on the podcast or YouTube, or wherever down the road, it's the middle of the summer, and there's a lot that goes into your world that can become tremendously distracting and disrupting, and a lot of people have a really hard time getting the right stuff done. Yesterday, we talked about income-producing activities. We talked about your top 3 income producing activities, and I challenge you to think about how much time are you actually spending on those key income producing activities. And from my experience, a lot of people really struggle, first of all, with even knowing what those top income producing activities are. But then if they even do know what they are, they have a really hard time making time for them and spending time on them, on those key activities. So I want to talk about scheduling a little bit this week. And what I'm going to share with you is 8 of my best tips for how to actually design your ideal week and plan ahead to be successful. This is how I schedule my week. I think when I learned how to do this years ago and started really being focused on implementing it, it completely changed my world. And it not only changed my world on the amount of stuff I was able to get done, but it also changed my world about how I felt about my work week and how I felt each day and how I approached each day. Because I think if you get your schedule wrong, if you get the way you work your work week wrong, you can find yourself waking up every single day overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed, frustrated. You're overwhelmed in the morning. You're frustrated at the end of the day because when you wake up in the morning, you feel like you have so much to do that you know you're probably never going to get done. And then you get to the end of the day, no matter how much you did get done, you feel like you didn't get enough done. And then you feel like tomorrow's just going to be the same. And so your schedule really, really not only affects your productivity, but it also affects your psyche and how you feel and how your mind works. So it's very important that we talk about this. So this is our topic for today. Grab your favorite morning beverage. Cheers and good morning to you. Grab your pen and paper, and I'll be right back with you. Hang tight. All right, guys, Justin Kaplan Pro is my name. JustinKaplanPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and a branding strategist that specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs turn your passion, your gifting, your ideas into a profitable and scalable brand, leveraging the power of social media marketing. If you are new to me, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you want to give me a hashtag first time, no matter where you are or what platform you're on, I would love to know that you are here, and my crew would love to make you feel welcome. And we're going to dive right into today's content. All right. So again, today we're talking, guys, about productivity hacks. I'm going to hook you guys up with a 8-step process or plan for how you can design your ideal week and plan ahead to be successful. Why do I want to do this, Justin? Why do I want to talk about scheduling today? Because the way you manage and handle your schedule will affect everything else. I'm going to give you a quote today by John Maxwell. John Maxwell says, "Successful people are not born that way. They become successful by establishing the habit of doing the things unsuccessful people are not willing to do. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to success is found in your daily routine." I'm going to say that again because I want that to marinate on you this morning, all right? Successful people are not born that way. They become successful by establishing the habit of doing the things unsuccessful people are not willing to do. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to success is found in your daily routine. That's why we're talking about this morning, because again, I feel like I try to think about myself. I have always had a great schedule. I have always had a great routine. I remember when I first started becoming an entrepreneur, one of the things that I was most excited about was freedom. Can anybody relate to that? Like freedom is it for me. I mean, still, freedom is my number one motivator. I'm not motivated by money. Money is a tool. Freedom is the goal. Freedom for me is everything. I want my mission in my world for me to work in this business and to do what I do and do how I do it and to put into the hours and the sweat and the work that I've done to get myself to this point is for freedom. I want freedom in my time, freedom in my schedule, freedom in my finances. I want freedom to spend as much time with my kids as I want, free to take time off with my wife when I want, free to do the things with my family when and when I want to do them. I haven't worked a weekend and I can't remember. I have not worked a holiday and when I can't remember. That to me is a motivator. How many of y'all are motivated by freedom? I'm motivated by freedom. But when I first started my business, I was also motivated by freedom, but I hadn't earned it yet. And so one of the hardest things about being an entrepreneur is being responsible with the freedom that you have immediately. I was talking to a client about this just a few days ago, and she was talking about her schedule. She's like, Justin, one of the hardest things that I wrestle with is being diligent and responsible with the hours that I have in the day. Because when nobody's watching you, nobody's telling you what you got to do and when and where you got to go and when and what has to be done and when, and your schedule is on you and what you do is on you. It's very easy just to like check out and be like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and like, well, I'll get to it tomorrow. Because, whatever. It's a holiday weekend. I don't know. I'll get to it Monday. That's just how it is. It's very difficult to have a set structure. But with that, if you operate like that day in, day out, where you're in a constant state of procrastination and a constant state of undisciplined behavior, it also becomes, it really, really affects your psyche. It really affects your mindset because you get to the point where your business is in disarray, nothing's structured, nothing's formatted. You wake up in the morning overwhelmed because you have a lot of work to do, but you can't even look at it. You don't even know what needs to be done today or what needs to be done this week. All you know is that you have a lot in your plate and you should probably get to something today. And so you wake up in a state of overwhelm. And then because you don't have set goals for each day or set plans for each day, you get to the end of the day not feeling like you have any wins, because even though you might have gotten some stuff done, it's nowhere near everything that has to be done. So you wake up every day with overwhelm. You go to bed every day with frustration. Every day it's the same thing. Overwhelm, frustration. You never feel like you're winning. You never feel like you're progressing. And you always feel like you're going to fail in this business. I think, surprisingly to me, one of the number one things that people have admitted to me eventually after struggling to grow a business is that they're afraid to be successful. And I heard people saying that, early on. I heard that idea of people that had a fear of success. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Why would you have a fear of success? Because I'm chasing success. I'm after it. I'm so driven to be successful. Success has never been a negotiable for me. It's like I will be successful. So it just didn't make sense to me. But what it really boils down to is it's not a matter of it's not that you are afraid of success. What you're afraid of is the person you will have to be if you become successful, because you can't be the same person today that you are going to need to be once you have experienced a high level of success, because to whom much is given, much is required. And when you've got people paying you and expecting things from you, you can't wake up when you feel like it. You can't just kind of go about your day the way you feel like. You can't just cut out when you feel like it because there's expectation on you. So it's not a matter of a fear of success. It's a fear of the person you have to become to be successful. And what it really boils down to is people don't want to change. They don't want to change. So we're going to unpack this morning because this is important. And I wanted to give you all that because I wanted to set that all up so that you could understand why we're talking about scheduling, because scheduling is not a fun topic. I mean, Justin, can you teach me about branding? Can you teach me how to make money online? Can you teach me how to go get more clients? Yeah, I can teach that. But you know what, guys? I don't just build businesses; I build business owners as well. And you have to be a sound business owner before you can expect to have a successful business. Okay, so let's talk about the scheduling thing. All right, I'm gonna break this down for you in steps. And the reason why I want to approach this the way I'm gonna approach this today is because every one of us are different. I can't just simply teach you how I run my schedule every single week because, first of all, this is full time for me. I work this business sun up to sundown. I am married. I have kids. I have a house. I have schedule, but my wife handles almost everything to do with my kids. My wife and I do grocery shopping and stuff together, but my wife helps me with the house, with the meals. There's so much that I don't have to do because my wife knows what I need to focus on in this business. Not everybody has that luxury, and especially all you ladies out there. Some of you ladies are trying to grow a business while doing all the things for the kids and doing all the meals and doing all the running around and all the pickups and all the drop-offs and all the friends parties, all the things, right? So I can't just teach you how I run my schedule because that's not practical and that's not applicable. So what I do teach in this and what we're going to cover today is how to figure out your schedule no matter what your life looks like. And this applies to everybody. All right. So no matter what your life looks like, this is how you need to go about figuring out your schedule. Some of the things that I might give you today may not apply to you, but I do want you to pick through and be like, I can do that. I can apply that. My mission, as always, to get you thinking differently, acting differently, and believing differently than you would have if you would not otherwise hung out with me for an hour in the morning. And this is going to get you acting differently, thinking and acting differently if you apply it. All right. The first thing that I think is crucial to figuring out your weekly schedule and planning ahead for success. Again, we're designing our ideal weeks. We're going to take the schedule 1 week at a time. All right. The first thing is to start with your base. Start with your base. That's number one. So what I mean by start with your base is basically what you need to start off first of all is you need to ask yourself in a week's time. So let's say we're planning for next week. Over the course of a week's time, what are the set base activities that I have got to make time for every week, period. Now, these are not specific things like I need to have a coaching call with Tracy. I need to have a website done for Brian. I need to have a logo design for Alexis. It's not specific tasks. It's specific types of activities. So for example, for me, I need content creation time on my calendar. I need client one-on-one time. I need networking time. I need time blocked off to follow up on emails. I need time to blocked off to plan my next upcoming week ahead. I need time for exercise, time for meals, so whatever that looks like for you. What I want you to start out with is what are all the types of activities that I have to do on a weekly basis. And this will shift for some of us. This will shift in this season of the summer, which is when I'm live right now. And then when you shift into the fall, your activities may change when kids go back to school, and that's fine. But we're talking about right now. All right, so set activities, start with your base. You need to figure out what types of blocked things do I need to put on my calendar. And I'm gonna show you why this is important in a second. But you need to figure out what are all the types of activities that I'm gonna do. So work activities, personal activities, everything. Anything that involves your world, you got to figure out time for that. Grocery shopping, date night with your spouse. Like if you want to have a certain thing in your schedule, put it on this list. Like even if it's something where you're like, you know what, Justin, I would really like to have a weekly date night, but it's just so unrealistic. I don't know how we could ever find the time to do it. You're probably never going to find the time to do it because you've never put it on your calendar. You've never made it a priority. You've hoped at some point in time you'll just find the time, and that won't happen. But if you put this on your thing, you say, you know what, this is going to be a weekly priority, and I'm going to put it on my freaking calendar. Then guess what? It'll start happening. All right. So whatever you need to put on your calendar, put on this list. Start with your base. That's number one. Number two, once you've got that list, and again, this list is meant to identify everything that you should be making time for every single week, personally and professionally. So if you're running a business, you've got to put all the things on there that you need to make time for every single week. Personally, all the things that you need to make time for every single week, specific tasks, laundry days. Again, workout schedule, meal times, one-on-one time with your kids, if that's a thing, your quiet time you can put on there. Like all these things are specific things that need time on your calendar. Anything that should get time on your calendar. And again, I talked a little bit about this yesterday, and I want to give this to you because I think it might be helpful for your mind as we go through this. Is we're budgeting our time, just like you will budget your finances, right? So if you create a budget for your finances, the idea of creating a budget for your finances is that you know how much money you have incoming. And so I want to take that money incoming and I want to go through and I want to write a budget and I want to plan out every single thing on paper that I'm going to spend my money on before I go spend my money. And so when you start a budget, you're going to start out with the big fish, right? The things that are non-negotiables. I got to pay my mortgage. I got to pay my car payments, my insurance. I got to pay my utilities. I got to pay all the things that can't not be paid, right? And then once you get through all the non-negotiables, then you can start working in like, your food budget, entertainment budget, certain things that you might need to set aside, savings, investments, whatever. You map out how you're going to spend all that money and you figure it all out on paper. And then the closer you stick to your budget, probably the better shape your finances are in. But if you don't have any budget for your money whatsoever, and you just wake every single day and just start swiping your card until all of a sudden you get a decline and you're like, oops, I'm out of money, right? Then your finances are probably in a complete state of disarray. So same goes with your time. And the thing is, that as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, your time is the most valuable thing that you have. It's the most valuable resource you have, and it's the one thing you can't get back, right? So why would we take time to make a budget for our finances, but we not take time to make a budget for our time? This is budgeting your time. So when we're starting with our base, we're basically figuring out what all needs to go into the budget. What are my non-negotiables? What are things that I would like to make time for? What are some of the things that require some small pieces of time, but still I want them to be on there? You plan the whole thing out. All right. Number 2 is prioritize. So once you make a list of everything that you feel needs to go on your schedule, the second thing you need to do now is you need to prioritize the things from most important to least important, and you need to put it in that order. Now, some people struggle with this a little bit. They're like, how do I make an order? Well, this is a good way to do it. So let's say you got a list of like 20 things that are on your list. I put them in 3 categories: 1, 2, and 3. All right. 1 would be absolute non-negotiable. Priority number 1, non-negotiable. All right. A number 2 would be, this is important, but I would say number 2 would be, it's important, but it's not primary. It doesn't come before my number 1s. All right. Number 3s would be, this would be nice if we could do it, but if it doesn't fit into my week, it's okay. All right. 1, 2s, and 3s. So again, 1, priority, non-negotiable, has to happen every single week. 2s would be, this is important, but it should not come before my primaries. 3 would be, it would be awesome if I can make time for this, but if it doesn't fit in, that's okay. Okay. 1, 2s, and 3s. So go through your list and just figure out all your 1s. What on your list do you have that's a 1? And put a 1 next to everything. All right. Once you feel like you've got everything that's a 1, then identify your 2s. What are your 2s? What are your things that are important but should never come before your primaries? And then identify your 3s. So you got a whole bunch of 1s, 2s, and 3s. Then once you have that list of 1, 2s, and 3s, then you can put them in order eventually. Right now, I'm not going to sit and wait as we put them all in order, but I just want to talk you through this process, okay? So once you're done with this, between 1 and 2, you should have a list of things that need to go on your schedule. You should have ranked them 1, 2, or 3, depending on their importance, and then put them in order so you can see what is most important. You need to visually see what that list needs to look like, all right? Once we do that, now we're going to go to step 3. Step 3 is called batching your tasks, all right? Batching your tasks means identifying what types of things that you need to accomplish and batching your time together so that you can stay in a same frame of mind to accomplish similar mindset tasks. For example, on my priority list, I'll have design time, client design time to design projects, whether it's graphics or websites or whatever for my clients. All right. But then I'll also have client coaching time. Then I'll have social media content creation. Right. So these are different things. All three of those things require me to be in a different frame of mind, right? Because I have to be in a completely different frame of mind when I am designing a project, whether it's a website or graphics, whatever. I need to be a completely different frame of mind when I'm designing versus when I'm doing a one-on-one. And I have to be in a completely different frame of mind when I'm doing a one-on-one versus when I'm actually planning content for my social media, right? So those are all different frames of mind. One of the problems that a lot of people have, and some of y'all may relate to this, is that you don't have a structure for your day. All you know is that I need to do some design. You know, for me, it'd be I need to do some design time. I need to do some one-on-ones. I need to do some of this, and so you just mix it all together every day. And some people are like, Justin, I'm gonna write. My mission, you know, people tell me, Justin, I'm working on writing a book, and my mission is I'm gonna write for 30 minutes every day. Okay. Why? What do you mean, why? You're gonna write for 30 minutes every day? Yeah. It's gonna be completely unproductive. Because you know as well as I do, it takes a minute for you to sit down and get in a rhythm, right? And 30 minutes is like, it's over in a blink. So if you're only going to write for 30 minutes, it's going to take you probably 10 of those 30 minutes to get in a groove. Then by just about the time you get in a groove, then your alarm's going to go off and it's going to stop you. Be like, oh, I guess I'm done. That was my 30 minutes for today. But if you want to do 30 minutes a day, are you going to do 5 days a week? So if you're going to do 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that's 2.5 hours, right? Why don't you just say, Justin, I'm going to do 2.5 hours of writing every single week on Friday afternoon, right after lunch, or maybe right before lunch. So you don't get the lunchtime, sleeps like I get. Instead of doing 30 minutes a day, do 2.5 hours one time a week. And I guarantee you'll get double, if not more, the amount of stuff written in 2.5 hours straight than you will 30-minute blocks every single day. Block your time. I'm not going to say I'm going to spend an hour each day designing graphics. And then I'm going to spend another hour doing coaching. And I'm going to spend another hour designing a website. Then do another hour doing follow-up. No. So batching your tasks is figuring out what frame of mind you have to be in to work on specific types of work. And then batch those things. All right. Now, good morning, Paul. Good morning, Tasha. Thanks for coming in, guys. So I'm going to give these to you together because number 3 and number 4 to me are kind of relative. So what I do is I batch my tasks and then I theme my days. Now, not everybody can do this, but this is how I do it. I'm just going to give it to you. So that way you can see what this looks like because you might be able to do this in your own way. Batch your tasks, theme your days. All right. So on the idea of batching, again, the idea of batching is recognizing out of all these priorities that I have, of all these things that I need to do on a daily, weekly basis, I know that I have to be in a certain frame of mind to do that type of work. And if I have to shift from that type of work to this type of work, I have to shift my mindset from that type of work to this type of work. And there's going to be a lost productivity. Like, have any of y'all ever had to go from one type of work to another unexpectedly and it's annoying? And you're like, oh, I gotta get my head around that. I gotta get my mind there because I wasn't planning on that today. Can you relate to that? That's what it's like. It's like, and I think that's why a lot of people get really frustrated by distractions. Unforeseen distractions is because if distractions force you to get out of the mindset that you were in, where you were in a groove, and now you focus on something that wasn't on your plate. Like I have no problem doing whatever I need to do for my family. But what I do not like, and what my wife and all my kids know, is that do not spring something on me at the last minute. I'll do whatever you need for whatever. I will take my daughter out shopping for a prom dress for 5 hours, and I'll buy her tights and lipstick and the whole thing. I'll do the whole thing. I have no problem. If you give me a heads up so I can plan on that in my mind. Don't tell me in the morning that I have to take you shopping for a prom dress this afternoon because I have a plan for today. My mind is wrapped around today and what I'm going to do today, and prom dress is not on that list for today. So don't do last minute with me. My kids know this. You don't tell dad something last minute. Give me at least 48 hours to think on it. Now, stuff happens. Of course, stuff happens. But as a general rule, I don't like to be sprung up on because I hate how that makes me feel when I have to shift out of the mind, because I'm very intentional about my time and my schedule. Okay. So back to batching and back to theming. So the way I batch and theme my weeks and my days is I theme my days based upon how I know I'm going to feel. So for example, I don't know about y'all, but I used to hate Mondays. Used to hate them. When I worked in corporate business, I hated Mondays because I hated what I had to go through on Mondays. Every Monday it was loads of paperwork. I'd have 6 conference calls every Monday being drilled on what the business was doing, what we're doing, blah, 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 blah. I would usually work between 15 and 16 hours every Monday. I hated it. It was the worst day of the week. I hated it. So I would come out of the weekend and I would have that Sunday night anxiety where I got to get back to work tomorrow. I hated it. So when I became an entrepreneur, I'm like, I'm going to structure my schedule in a way where I love Mondays. So what I do on Mondays, I don't take any client calls as a general rule. Now, occasionally stuff happens where I'll take a call here and there. But as a general rule, I do not take any client calls on Mondays. I only do one. My Monday broadcast is the only broadcast that I do privately. So I don't even do public broadcasting on Friday. I work with my inner circle for an hour on Monday morning, and then the rest of my day, my entire day, is themed for design time. And the reason for that is because when I'm off for the weekend, my creativity flows, man. I got ideas on my mind. So one of my favorite things to do in my business is create. I love to create. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love to design. I love to create. So I fill my entire schedule on Monday to design and to create. I work on graphics. I work on logos. I work on websites. I work on the stuff that just lets me be free and creative. So every single Monday, I wake up, I do my morning routine. I have a 1-hour broadcast with my inner circle, giving them a game changer topic for the week. And then I get about my day. My entire day is spent here comfortably hanging out in my office, just playing on my computer and working on graphics because I love doing that stuff. Now, it's highly effective, highly productive work. It's all work that has to be done, but I give my entire day to that. And I love Mondays, and I'm in that great frame of mind. It starts me out strong. Now I plan that's a theming my days. All right. So we're talking about theming. Mondays for me is design day. Tuesdays and Thursdays are client mentoring days. All right. So I have a lot of people that I coach. And so I stack them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And again, it's because I know I have to be in a different frame of mind when I'm designing versus when I'm coaching. So I don't mix design days and coaching days because it's just different types of work. However, when I get into my coaching days, when I get on a roll, I start firing on all cylinders. And those guys that are coaching, you guys can probably relate to this. You start doing back-to-back coaching where you have multiple coaching sessions. Some people would think that would be tiring. For me, it's exhilarating. It fuels me. And so the more I do, the better I get. And so I just keep on going. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I stack my coaching calls. And I'll do 7, 8, sometimes 10 calls in one day. If I back to back, just boom, I blow through them, and I do coaching calls Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now that's a heavy day. That's a tiring day, right? But those are my days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays, I'll take coaching calls up till noon, and in the afternoon, I spend time on networking, connecting. I spend time on content creation. I have a list of things that I do on Wednesdays, but that afternoon is variable. But I do client coaching calls up till noon, and then Friday is my heavy content creation day and weekly planning. So that's the upcoming week. That's planning for the next week ahead. So I have these general themes. So then what I do, again, going back to number 1 and number 2, where I list out my priorities of everything that needs to be fit into my week. I have themes for my days. So Monday is design time. Tuesday, Thursday, mentoring days. Wednesday is half mentoring day. Partial, also content creation. Friday is planning. And so I work these priorities, and I take the number ones, all the key priorities that I have for my week, and I figure out where I'm going to place those things to make sure that all of my number ones are scheduled accordingly. That they're scheduled with priorities associated. So I know that those will always be done without fail. All right. And usually all my number ones are planned early in the day. So I get them done first. So I figure all those things into my schedule. Then I go through all the number 2s that I said. So the number 2s are the things that are on your list that are important, but they should never take priority over all your number 1s. So the number 1s need to go on your schedule first. So again, when I told you, this is applicable to no matter what your schedule is, no matter who you are, whatever your schedule is, every one of us can make a list of priorities of things that we know we need to do. But then if you're working through this list and you're like, Justin, I'm having a real hard time fitting everything that's on this priority list into my schedule. Well, then you need to revisit some things then, because if your schedule is so busy that you can't make time for the most important things in your world, then you've got too much on your plate. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. And what's cool about this process is that nobody's going to tell you that except for you. Because it'd be easy for me to be like, how much time did you spend on your income producing activities last week? And you're like, oh, I don't know, Justin, I don't think I spent any time in my income producing activities. Well, you need to cut some stuff off your plate. You need to make those a priority. Well, Justin, you don't understand what's going on in my life. I have all these things that I'm like, I know I don't understand what's going on in your life. This is about you. I told you to make the list. You put on paper what you said. These are my non-negotiables. This is what I have to put on my schedule every single week. That's your list, not mine. You made it. And then you're like, all right, now I need to just take this list and I need to put it into your schedule. And you're like, man, I just can't seem to fit it into my schedule. Then you got too much stuff in your schedule. If you cannot make time for the key things that you know you need to be doing every single week, what are you spending your time on? In a lot of cases, people are like, I don't know what I'm spending my time on, because you're not measuring it, tracking it, or managing it in any way whatsoever. So we're back to theming days, batching tasks. Theming your days is figuring out, when do you feel the way you feel? When are you best? When's your sweet spot? When do you feel the most productive? Are you most productive in the morning? Is the afternoon? I know some people that are at their very best at 10 o'clock at night. Fine. Schedule your key priorities at 10 o'clock at night. I don't care. This is completely up to you. It's completely up to you how you want to map this whole thing out for yourself. But you're basically, at this point in time, you need to map out that 7-day schedule, Monday through Sunday, and you need to look at that entire list of things that you know you need to have in your life, personally and professionally, and you need to work all the things from that list into your schedule. And you need to figure out what is going to work best for me. Because some of you guys have full schedules with kids and house. Some of you guys are working other jobs. That's fine. Some of you guys may only have 2 days a week to work on your business. All right, well, then those priorities need to fit in to those 2 days. And you might say to yourself, I got more on this list than I can fit into 2 days. And I'm like, well, only the one of two things needs to happen. Some things need to come off your schedule then to give you more time, or some things need to come off your priority list. I mean, this is just facts and data. This is unemotional. You're like, if I have not enough time here on the schedule and too much on this list, then only one of two things can happen. I need to give myself more time on this schedule, or I need to remove things from this list. But everything from this list, whatever list you have in front of you, has got to go on that calendar. That's the hardest part of this process, is figuring that out. Figuring out in a way that will actually be sustainable, that will actually work for you, all right? Now, once you do that, we're going to go to number 5. Number 5 is you want to allow for buffer. All right? Don't pack your schedule so full that you don't have a window to breathe or for unexpected circumstances to come up, because stuff will come up. Give yourself a buffer in some way. Now, remember this too, all right? Tasks will expand to the time allotted. Write that down if you're taking notes. Tasks will expand to the time allotted. So, So if one of the things on your list, on your priority list, is blogging, where you want to post one blog a week or one podcast a week, maybe it's your podcast. Maybe you want to do one podcast a week. All right, that's awesome. I love that. And you're like, I know I can do that one day, and I can get it all done. I can write the content, I can record it, and I can get it scheduled and posted in one day. Cool. If you just say, my mission for Monday is to get my podcast content written, get it recorded, get it scheduled and posted, that's my mission for Monday. If that's how you approach it, and you're like, that's my mission for Monday, guess how long it'll take you? All day. Because you gave yourself all day to do it. But if you said, I need to work on my podcast realistically, I can have that thing recorded, or I can have the content written and let's give me 60 minutes. I can have it recorded in 30. It'll take me about 30 minutes to edit it and maybe another 30 minutes to get it posted, uploaded, and scheduled. So I'm at 2.5 hours. All right. 2.5 hours to get that blog or get that podcast written, recorded, edited, and posted. 2.5 hours. I'm going to give myself 3. I'm going to give myself a buffer. 3 hours. My mission is that podcast. So I'm going to do that podcast. When do I feel my best on Mondays? I can't do it first thing because I got this, and this, but it has to be done by noon because I got that. All right, I'm going to do it from 9 to noon. 9 to noon. I've got 3 hours. Guess what happens? If you put that on your schedule from 9 to noon Monday morning, knowing full well that you have to start at 9 because that's the only way you're going to be done by noon, you'll have it done by noon because you intended to. You started your day out with an intention, and then you'll be what? Prepared for that. You've got to be prepared for that. Good morning, Sherry. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Cheers and good morning. I haven't taken a sip of my coffee one time this entire broadcast. I've been talking that much. Cheers, y'all. Good morning. All right. So, again, tasks will expand to the time allotted. So, whatever it is that you're planning time for, make sure that you are being clear about how much time it's actually going to take you, but then also giving yourself a little bit of buffer. Because it's the thing. So what happens is the way I don't have, this isn't one of my tips. This is a bonus tip. All right. What I do is when I schedule my week, I look at my week ahead. I know everything that I need to go into that week, and I map out my entire week of what has to be done next week. So when I come into my new week, I have a thorough plan for the week of what has to be done. Then every day I map out my schedule and priorities for the day based upon what has to be done on the week. Right? Does that make sense? So the week is more global. The week is more Monday is design time with batch tasks and priorities. Tuesday is client mentoring time with batch schedule and priorities, right? So I have my schedule of the way I flow throughout my week, but then I plan my Monday. This is what has to be done on Monday. This person's website, this person's list. I have to do a coaching. I need coaching prep for that thing. I need to have this done. Whatever. So I make my list of things that have to be done, but they still fit into the overall schedule and framework that I've given myself. And I've got times associated with all these things. So I know how long I plan for that to take me and when I expect to have that done. So what happens is if I'm in the middle of my day and Courtney calls me and she's like, "Hey babe, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I just blew a tire on the road and I'm stuck on the side of the road. I need some help. Here I come. I'm going to come get you right now." Right? So I go and I'll help Courtney and I'll fix the tire and I'll get her safe and get her back home and I'll come back home and I just lost an hour and a half of my day. That does not stress me out at all. And the reason it doesn't stress me out is because I'll come right back and be like, all right, I just lost an hour and a half here. That's okay. I was working on this. I will shift this over to here. I'll move that. I can cut that back today because I can start on that tomorrow and I'm good. And I'm just going to get right back to work. And the reason why I can stay in that frame of mind is because I can look at it. I can see it. I can see what I had in my day-to-day. This is my plan. I had a thing, whatever. We worked with it. I can skip my workout for today if I need to. I can go here. I can move this. I'm good. Let's just keep right on rolling. What happens with someone who does not have a schedule like that is they're in the middle of already being overwhelmed because they woke up overwhelmed because they didn't have a plan for the day. All they know is I got a lot to do and I don't even know what to do, but I hate Mondays and I haven't had my coffee yet, but let me just get to work. And I just get started going to work and spouse calls. I blew a tire on the road. I need your help. Oh, all right, I'm coming. And so you go, and then you're out there, and then you help them, and you get it all sorted out, and you're like, well, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting this today. You want to go get some breakfast? Let's just go get some breakfast. Then you go get breakfast, and then you get the midday hungered sleeps. You get tired to come back. Then you're frustrated. You can't remember what you were even working on because you weren't looking at it. And then you're like, you know what? This is just a Monday. And then you go do it. Then like, I'm going to make a funny social media post about this. So you sit on Facebook for an hour trying to articulately word this thing about how you're going to tell people that you had a flat tire today and so they can feel bad for you. When really what you just need to do is just get to freak back to work. Right? And so you make your clever post about your great day. And then you're like, you know what? This is just such a bad day. You know what? I'm just going to start over tomorrow. And you blow your whole day because you had one thing that was a disruption. Now I'm reading somebody's mail today. Problem is, that's your everyday. Every day, something happens, right? I'm telling y'all, and listen to me, I fought this. I get you. I get you, right? I get you. I fought this so much when I first started becoming an entrepreneur. Is I had so many people telling me, Justin, you've got to have structure. You've got to have a schedule. I'm like, I became an entrepreneur for freedom. I want freedom. I love freedom. Freedom in my schedule. I want to wake up, laptop lifestyle. It's great. I want to have freedom. And what I realized is that freedom undeserved, like freedom you haven't worked for, becomes shackles, and you become a slave to overwhelm, and you struggle with procrastination. And once I realized that I had to have structure and I had to have a schedule in place to help me get the most important work that I had to do done, I realized that structure enables flexibility. I don't get overwhelmed with anything. Doesn't matter what gets thrown at me, because I know how I'll adjust. It's just like a budget. Like if I have my entire budget written out for how I'm going to spend my money, and all of a sudden I get an unexpected bill, I'd be like, all right, well, I wasn't planning on spending $2,000 to fix my air conditioner on my truck this week, which actually happened. Whatever, wasn't planning on that, but I can look at the budget and be like, well, this is where we're allocating the money this month, and I guess we'll just pull from here. We'll pay that, and we'll move that to next month or whatever. And we just move it around because I can look at it. Right? But if you can't look at it, I wasn't planning on that. Great. I already allocated, all of our money is gone. We're already out, blah, blah, blah. If you can't look at it, you can't adjust. Same goes with your schedule. You have to be able to adjust. All right. So allowing for buffer is giving yourself some breathing room around all the things that you were actually putting on that plan. Okay. The last three I'm going to give you. Number 6 is commit to all aspects of your schedule. So once you map this whole thing out and you get this plan in place for what your schedule is going to look like, commit to all aspects of it. Let this develop your routine. All right? Let this help you establish a rhythm for how you work. And again, I have my big things and my little things planned in here, but I also every single day at noon, I have lunch scheduled at noon every single day, like clockwork. So I do my lunch and my workout in an hour period. I give myself from 12 to 1 every single day. I actually do my workout first. Now I do workout first, and then I eat lunch after my workout, and that's done in an hour. Every single day in the evening at 5 p.m., I do client follow-up and email management. So I go into my email and I follow up on any emails that I have in there before I do dinner. And I don't go to dinner before I have email follow-up done. I manage my email inbox. All right, those are key, simple things that happen every single day. All right, there's certain things that happen every single day. Every morning I get up at the same time. I have my quiet time at the same time. My morning routine between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. when I go live and broadcasting, that 3-hour window in the morning is the same every single day. And I also, my morning routine from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. every single morning is the same 7 days a week. Now, that's my personal choice. But I will tell you, I didn't always used to do that. I used to do Monday through Friday, and then the weekend would be the weekend. I would sleep in on the weekend or whatever. I wouldn't set an alarm. I don't like it. I like getting up early. I like having my whole day. And I also, too, is that if I don't set my alarm on Saturday and Sunday, Monday is always harder. It's always harder. So my morning routine is the same 7 days a week. I get up, even on vacation, I get up early. I get up and I go through my same morning routine. That's just the way I do it. And I if you can do that, I highly recommend it, because I think it'll help you really, really establish a habit. And the other thing that I do, I talked about commit to all aspects. I want to make sure that I give this to you the way I think it needs to be given. Committing to all aspects, before I go into my other point, is don't allow yourself to don't allow yourself to get lazy with certain things. All right. So you might look at your schedule and be like, yeah, well, Tuesdays and Thursdays is my client mentoring time. That's obviously that's the given, but I don't know, I probably don't need to exercise today, or I'm gonna sleep in a little bit longer tomorrow, or I don't need to eat lunch today. No. If it's on your schedule, it was a priority. You wrote your priorities, you put it on your schedule. Commit to every aspect of that schedule. Commit to yourself. Try not to give yourself outs on any of this thing. Once you write this thing, try to be super disciplined with the plan that you made. This is your plan. Try to be super disciplined and don't break any of those schedules unless it's an absolute non-negotiable. Something happened, unforeseen or something. All right. Commit to all aspects of it. Don't waver. Don't dabble with it. All right. The last one I'm going to give you, number 7, is don't waste the weekend. Don't waste the weekend. So one of the things that I do, 2 things that I do that I'm going to tell you that I think are huge for me, but one of them that I love is I actually give myself a reward on Saturday. All right. So Saturday on my schedule, I block from when I get up, 5 a.m. to noon, 7 hours. And on my schedule, it's called home base. And so home base for me is I work on anything that I want to work on for me. It's not for anybody else. I'm not doing anybody else's work. I'm not working on your website, your graphics, your content, your nothing. I'm not doing anything for you. It's all me. So if I want to work on my website, my content planning, work on my book, work on a course that I'm writing, if I want to brainstorm, I want to create something, maybe I want to work on my desk space, my office space, that Saturday morning time is for me. 100% for me. I don't work on anybody's stuff except mine, my time, my stuff. I love that time. It's my favorite day of the week. Saturday mornings, I love it. And my whole family knows it. Dad is in the office till noon on Saturday, and they're totally cool with it. So my kids work good on communication. If they know what to expect, they're cool. So they all know, leave Dad alone till noon, because he's working on stuff. But then I have to be disciplined with them that I cut off right at noon, and they know that family day starts at noon. Whatever we're doing the rest of the day starts at noon. So from when I get up to noon every Saturday, that's my time to work on whatever I want to work from. And I get so much accomplished in that time. It's undistracted. Usually I just come down here and comfy. I'm in my slippers and my jammies and my coffee, and I sit here and I work on stuff, and I loved it. And I love it. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite days of the week. However, that is a reward. And I only get that Saturday time to myself if I get everything that I had to get done throughout the week done. All right. So if I have plans and schedules and priorities throughout the week that do not get done because of whatever reason, then those are going to bleed into my Saturday. So if on a Thursday afternoon I have an unforeseen circumstance and I'm in a bad mood and I decide to lay down and take a nap for 30 minutes, my 30 minutes turns into 2 hours and I lose a huge chunk of my day, and then I wake up and I'm still feel like crap, and I had a project that I had to get done that Saturday that Thursday afternoon, and I just lost my Thursday afternoon, and Friday's packed too full for me to accomplish it, then that Thursday project just moved to Saturday morning. And now for me, instead of sitting here and working on things that I want to work on for myself, now I got to spend my home base time working on the thing I should have got done on Thursday. So I earn that Saturday morning freedom time. It's a motivator for me. And so I give myself a reward that Monday through Friday. I'm going to schedule, I'm going to plan, I'm going to execute, I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to get done what needs to be done so that when I get done Saturday morning, when I get done throughout the week, then that Saturday morning is me time. Now, believe me, I'm just like you, where come midday Friday, I'm real in the mood to go to the lake or go out, hang out outside, or cut off early, right? And I do that every once in a while. However, I earn that. Okay, so if I have an inkling that the weather is going to be bomb on Friday and the kids are going to be free and we can possibly go to the lake if we want to, then I know I have to pick up the pace and put in some extra hours throughout the week so that I can get my entire week's workload done by noon Friday rather than by Friday night. I don't just say, well, I've got work to do, but I'm leaving. I get it done ahead of time. And I do that because I can see that. I don't know. I hope I'm making this point today above anything, is that the reason why I can manage and handle my schedule like a boss is because I can see it. I can see where everything needs to flow. I know where if I want to only work a half day on Friday, I see where I got to pick up time here. I can work a little bit longer Thursday night. I can move this one to here. I can take this one on Wednesday night, get that one there, and I can open up my afternoon on Friday so that when I get done with this, and this, by noon Friday, I'm done and clear, and I can start my weekend. And I'm actually doing that for tomorrow because it's 4th of July weekend, and it's also my wife and I's anniversary. So very high likelihood that I'm going to cut out half a day tomorrow. And so I'm going to work my tail off today. I worked late last night getting a whole bunch of stuff done. I'm going to get this stuff done today so that my workload is still done. And then I go about my weekend. All right. Hopefully this is helpful for y'all. Don't waste the weekend. The other thing I'm going to give you on don't waste the weekend is find a time, either Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where you make at least an hour of time to plan for your week ahead. At least 1 hour. I do mine every single. Well, I used to do it Sunday night. Now I do it Fridays because I like Fridays better. I don't like trying to get in a mode on Sunday night. In the winter, usually it's Sunday night, but in the summertime, I do Friday night because Sunday we're always outside doing something. But I do it Friday night. So by the time I'm done, end of day Friday, I have my entire week planned, content planned, schedule planned, everything mapped out where I am ready to go. I clean up my desk, I file my paperwork, I clear my email inbox, I get everything done, kick off my lights, and I'm out of here. And I leave this desk ready to go for Monday morning. And then I go enjoy my weekend. And I don't have to think about anything business for the weekend because it's all planned. It's all ready. And then the only thing that I do is Sunday night, right before I come to bed, I come downstairs in my office, I open up my schedule, and I just review my schedule. I look at my priorities for Monday. I give myself just a refresher and a reminder of what I need to do throughout the week. I put it all in my brain before I go to sleep because your subconscious will work on that all night while you're sleeping. And I wake up Monday morning ready to go, crystal clear, and let's do this. That's how I run my schedule. Guys, hopefully this is helpful for you. Again, I'm going to give you this John Maxwell quote again. Successful people are not born that way. Successful people become successful by establishing the habit of doing the things that unsuccessful people are not willing to do. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to success is found in your daily routine. All right? I'm going to leave you with that for today. Guys, hopefully that was helpful. I know it's a lot that I'm giving you, but hopefully I'm giving you something to chew on this morning, something to think about that gets you thinking and working on your own schedule and finding ways to be more efficient and more productive. I appreciate you. Y'all are awesome. I know 53 minutes every time is so valuable. So I'll see you around the web. Take care. God bless, guys. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see y'all later. All right? Bye-bye.